you measure a Bigfoot with a pine needle? Do head tilts matter in the photos? Will messy bedhead alter pine needle measurements? Why are the Bigfoot forums filled with pine tree experts now? Jake's head is tilted, Jane's hair's just a ratty old mess, and everything is slightly behind a pine tree. Holy cow. Let's just get into it. All right. Hopefully, this will be a short video and not very ranty. Spoiler alert. It will be ranty. I'm just kind of apologizing in the beginning. You're welcome. I did a video with a brief factual timeline of Todd Standing within the Bigfoot community. If you don't know who he is, he's a controversial figure who, okay, stop. Let's face it, if you're here, you know who Todd Standing is. We don't have to revisit all this. Anywho, I got this comment on that video. Quote, measure the faces based on the pine needles and you'll change your mind. They're real, unquote. And I just like to say, I 100% believe that Sasquatches are real, living, breathing creatures. I moved past that debate so many moons ago. But little old me, who really likes the historical stuff, and honestly, probably need a refresher on up to the second Bigfoot news, like what's new on social media today and where's the latest spotting. But I thought pretty sure that I saw this whole measuring with pine needles somewhere. So I went searching, and yep, the YouTube channel Cabin in the Woods did this. I watched the video, and I have thoughts. Let me just say that I've seen a fair number of videos from this channel. And Robert, he has a great voice to listen to, is a good and convincing storyteller. Well, honestly, that's the problem. He has made up quotes from people specifically to fit his narrative. For example, there was one involving Dr. Hart, which I can't recall the specifics on, so I'll just leave that there. Another one was from Dr. Meldrum on the infamous Ketchum study, and that really comes to mind. I believe on a podcast, oh gosh, I can't remember the name. I'll put it on screen. It's with Steve Coles and Chris Bennett. They break all that down and show all the receipts. What Dr. Meldrum said versus what Cabin in the Woods quoted him as saying. And it wasn't a misquote. It was a complete manipulation of Dr. Meldrum's words to fit the narrative that he was pushing. And now, I know what you're going to say, but historical Sasquatch lady, maybe he just Googled stuff and got bad quotes. Okay, enter Exhibit C. Chris Spencer is an audio tech, I believe, with the Olympic Project. He was referenced by Robert from Cabin in the Woods. After seeing the video, Chris posted a comment that the quote was an absolute lie and something he never said at all. So, was there a reply by Cabin in the Woods? Clarification? A redaction? No. Nope. Just crickets. Followed by the comment apparently just disappearing. And when you add that all together with the video that Cabin in the Woods did on the Ketchum study, and just the amount of errors in what specialties the doctors were, DNA, there is way too many wrong things for this just to be a coincidence or someone who doesn't research things. It has to be a knowing manipulation to get the facts in his favor to push that narrative. So yeah, this channel, it's not great in the facts department. Anyways, this whole measuring thing. Firstly, he said the measurements are done using pine needles approximately 1 inch long. He goes on to school us in pine needle facts. And you know what? Cool beans. Because let me just say, I know jack about pine needles. Never, not once have I been out for a walk, looked at a pine tree, and thought, I should measure those. Yeah, not once. And yes, I've seen the forum debates. Are they all 1 inch in length? Factor in maturity of the tree, the species, yada yada. Lots of Bigfoot pine tree experts popping up all of a sudden. But At the end of the day, he's measuring in inches, and honestly, I don't have an issue with that at all. It's kind of cool to see things measured in a different way. So, you know what? Measure away, my guy. The first measurements is on the subject Jake, a claimed male Sasquatch. Using the pine needle measuring system, it's roughly 15 inches. And let's take note, he goes completely from the side of the head to the back. We'll come back to this, I promise. Then he replicates this technique on the subject Jane, a claimed female Sasquatch, using the spruce needle sizing measuring thing. Cool. Still with you on this technique. It measures roughly 13 inches. Now, here's one of my issues. Neither one are looking straight at the camera. We can all see that. But I find it off that he claims the head would look larger if you looked at it straight on. I just I call tomfoolery nonsense on stilts here. Because if you tilt your head to one side or the other, even slightly, more surface area would be exposed, so it would actually look smaller head on rather than wider. Seriously, try this yourself. Look in the mirror. It Tell me what you think. And disclaimer, I also know jack about anatomy. But what I do know is if you look at this photo, he to me is looking directly at the camera. If he tilted his head to the right like Jake's, tell me that wouldn't look like it measured larger. Come on. My second issue is the actual measuring itself. Let's take a look at the male Jake's head again. He measures completely from the side to the back of the head. He does not take into account that the subject's head is tilted. See how he extends the measuring right there? Now, let's take a look at the female Jane's measurements. He does take into account the head tilt. He stopped. He even mentions this, measuring where the head seems to stop without going all the way to the back. See that right there? So the male is measured from the side of the head to the back, and the female was not. So it's not nearly an accurate comparison. You would have to measure the subjects in the same manner for people to take you seriously. It would seem this is done to deliberately convey a narrative that the male is larger. Now, do I think a male Bigfoot is probably larger than a female? Based on primates? Sure, that seems 100% logical. Generally, males are larger. There are, of course, some exceptions like lemurs where females are larger and other species where they're the same. But this whole way of measuring is just not adding up. Other things to consider, let's see, we got control dimensions, what kind of camera, the zoom, focal distance. Was the video stretched during post? Distance from the needles to the subjects. I think I repeated something in there, my bad. And in a very basic way, ever seen a fluffy dog? Like before and after being shaved? Tell me you wouldn't have measured that differently before it was shaved. So, is the head really even semi accurately being measured at all? We can only look at photos and guess how thick their hair is, how much that varies, say, by individual or the age. Of course, that's all assuming that the photos you're looking at are legit. I feel the one thing that could have been controlled in this measuring experiment was how Cabin in the Woods literally measured. And that wasn't done properly. You know what? I can't with this. I can't. It adds nothing to the Bigfoot conversation but controversy because it adds nothing scientific in my eyes. Except now, I do have pine needle knowledge that may come in handy for trivia night. So, hey, thanks for that. I'm not going to go over the entire video because it is just such a spicy disaster when you pick it apart. And anyways, now I need a glass of brandy. So, until next time.